Oh, wait.
What happened here?
I don't know.
Oh, honey.
Why aren't we showing up? Hold on.
Are we live?
Yes.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. One second.
We've got
We're nowhere.
We've got our invisible cloaks on. Sorry. Jeez.
I had this all set up. Okay, 1 second, guys. I'm getting this going. Welcome to Crypto Tips.
You know what? Let me
live.
just talk so we're not wasting anybody's time.
Go for it.
All right,
It's
so
not even showing up here.
let's talk about the FOMC meeting really
Hey,
quick.
guys.
Oh, we're good?
Well, we're getting there. Now I gotta make it see-through.
My name is
Toby.
Beautiful green screen.
Yeah.
My name's Toby.
Here we
This
are.
is Heidi. We're
Hi,
going to
guys.
talk about very interesting things today.
We just got back from Egypt, so those of you who were missing on our live stream last week, thank you for staying tuned for this week. It was a crazy trip. Actually, go ahead.
Fox
go for it.
Coit, good to see you. David D, good to see you guys. Richard O, believe in the Lord Jesus Christ.
What do they say?
Man, Pepe
Heart.
Recha.
Yeah.
Let's freaking go.
Let's
yeah.
frickin' go.
CT.
Let's go.
All
Where
right.
we
All right. All right. So we have the FOMC meeting this week, which should be really interesting. Obviously, what I think is going to happen is that the Fed is already. Nope.
No. Okay.
It has already priced in a 25% or 25 basis point rise, which
Yes.
is great.
And it's evidence of, I mean, for crypto at least. Bitcoin's
Sure.
at 23.
Yeah, it's 23 something, so which is good. Yeah, especially for those that have been listening to us and we're buying near the bottom, which is great. A lot of people say, hey, this isn't the bottom or whatever. I don't know what they think is going to happen to the space to make it go to lower lows or $10,000. I don't know, whatever. But okay, here's something interesting with Satoshi Flipper. He's a great guy to follow on Twitter. He says, we already know it's 25 basis points, the next rate hike. Okay, so what is there even remaining for Jerome Powell to give guidance about? Another 25% or 25 basis point or 50 basis point remaining for the year? The worst is behind us, he's essentially saying. I totally agree with that. Keep in mind that it's not about what you think. It's not about what the reality of the economy is happening. It's not. It's about whatever the Fed has to say. That's it. It's very simple. So you can think it's the worst macro environment ever. I totally agree. I totally 100% agree. The only reason we aren't at 1930 or 1929 Great Depression is because we have credit now. Americans are up to their ears in debt. Most of them are drowning in debt. Mm-hmm. And also you have EBT cards and stuff. You don't have they didn't have that back then. Credit cards for crying out loud.
A lot of cushion.
Exactly. And also credit cards weren't back then. Yeah. You had a point system back then, but the modern day credit card wasn't invented till 1950s.
And even then it took decades for that to catch on.
Exactly.
70s, 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. And come on. We've had a credit card that has barely evolved since the 1950s.
Which, by the way, Bitcoin and Tether have both performed more transactions in the year than MasterCard and Visa.
It's pretty amazing.
There you go.
And look who's been innovating. It's the free market. It's crypto. Yeah. It's the developers.
Inspired folk.
Exactly. It's not your banks, which haven't what they have
status quo.
Touch credit cards. That's the biggest advance they've had since 1950s. Give me a break. So okay. Next up, we have are we in the disbelief stage? I think we're in the disbelief stage.
What came before the disbelief stage?
Okay, so we have right here, we
should be showing this visual. I'm sorry that we can't.
We have capitulation, which is what we saw with FTX, right? Then we had the anger, which are people are pissed. They lost everything. They're like, okay, crypto is screwed. And then it comes depression and like, oh my gosh, they're realizing they lost all their money, whatever. And then they have a bounce.
That's a pretty good, within 3 months, that's a lot of volatile emotions for a market to have.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of anger in between.
Are we still in anger?
I think we're in disbelief.
Or
I
in
think people are
depression?
like, oh, we're. I mean,
Okay, here's I don't know.
yeah, go.
The difference between depression and disbelief, it's a fine line. Are people so depressed that they don't want to acknowledge that this isn't the bear market anymore?
I think
Are they so depressed that they think this is a bull trap?
I think depression is like, okay, we're never going to have another bull run again, essentially.
Oh, we get
It's
that every
over.
cycle.
It's over.
For me, I think I'm not sure that we're in disbelief yet. I think we'll be in disbelief when we hit like 35,000 Bitcoin.
Okay. Okay.
This is not a price prediction.
No.
This is just Toby and I talking right now on a live stream.
I don't know. I think this is disbelief right here.
Okay. What comes after disbelief?
Making me go back. All right. So after disbelief, I think is hope. And then, hope, and then optimism, and then belief, then thrill, then euphoria.
And then you sell your profits, guys.
I'm going to start taking
Then you take profits. Take profits when we're at what? Optimism.
Yeah. No. You got to have.
Well, hey, if you've been dollar cost averaging for the past 3 months, you can have a healthy profit in the optimism phase.
Also,
if
you've been dollar cost averaging, you are up 42% this month alone.
Yeah, congratulations.
Which is pretty nice. So the people that are waiting, we're waiting from 15,400 to waiting for 13,000. And they just missed a 42% rise.
Yeah.
That's almost 50%. All right. So that's like if you were waiting for 8,000, on if another 42% from 15,000 or 6 or 8 or 9,000. So like
there's only
blew it. These people.
If you're not in the market, if you're not having exposure to crypto within really key moments of time, you miss the most chances for profit. And that's what dollar cost averaging does. It gives you consistent exposure to the market within your frame of your investment strategy, your investment plan. And just like how dollar cost averaging really cushions a blow for like not having to time the market bottom, it's the same thing on the way up. So just know that markets move in cycles, and we just saw a huge bear market. I mean, sentiment has never been more apparent thanks to mainstream media and the blowout of FTX and all of the attention that's been happening on the crypto space from regulators, from mainstream media, and all that stuff about how, crypto is a huge scam. It's a big Ponzi scheme. This sentiment is the same every cycle, but it just gets louder. The speakers get louder because it has more and more attention from the mainstream media. And now that we know for sure that crypto moves in cycles, then we know that it will go up at some point. And you can also dollar cost average out, meaning that you don't have to perfectly time the very top of the market. Now, if you're sitting here thinking, but I have to buy the very bottom and I have to sell the very top, that's your greed talking. And it can mislead you, and it can make you make mistakes and take really drastic measures that you don't have to. So dollar cost averaging is a really chill way to invest and to take profits both ways. So keep that in mind when Hopium starts really kicking off and the Moon Boys get really loud.
And the 42%, that was just Bitcoin. PR says here, Solana's up 145% last month.
Solana's alive, guys.
Solana.
But is the blockchain running?
It is running. But, there's a lot of coins, like our CT Club members, if you want to check that out below. The link is below. But, that's where you get our portfolio. And one of the coins is, Render. Oh, my gosh. And another coin that I missed was Jones. That did phenomenal. So there's a lot of really good coins.
Don't feel too bad. There's thousands of coins out there.
But one of the coins that we've been telling our subs since $20 is GMX.
Yeah.
And that's done phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I think the Arbitrum chain is going to do.
I mean, at this point,
amazing.
Personally, we and those who are optimistic for the next bull run in crypto, everyone's trying to guess the next darling of the 2023, 2024, probably 2024 bull market, where it goes really crazy and FOMO is in and it's irrational buyers out there. Which one is altcoin is gonna see the most profit? That's what we're trying to guess right now. last year, or no, 2 years ago. Sorry, it was Solana. What else was on our radar back then?
We had so many coins.
We had exposure to a lot of DeFi coins, DeFi coins. But so now that's what everyone's kind of gearing up for, is like, okay,
DeFi.
Now we have some dry powder left. Maybe we've taken some profits, or we just still have some running. And okay, what is the attention going to be paid on next? Is it going to be gaming? Is it going to be AI? Is it going to be NFTs? Maybe all of them.
AI has done fantastic.
Toby's bullish on AI, obviously.
Absolutely.
I'm bullish on DeFi and DEXs for sure.
Fetch did amazing. Ocean did amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think DeFi and DEXs are definitely a long-term game for me.
And this is just the beginning. Like we're still in the accumulation phase right now. So we're fine.
Yeah.
Like if you can find, this is where you find
is when
your
you start
100
sprinkling.
X's.
Just sprinkling.
Sure.
And then see what it is, kind of gaining ground. Okay, and then maybe put a little bit more into that position or this position, and then see how it goes. It's not all or nothing, right now or never. It's never like that in crypto. And if you're in that position, you're probably you're investing an amount of money that you can't afford to lose, and you're kind of coming from a spot of desperation, which, how some countries and their fiat currencies are dealing with right now, I totally understand. But that can easily go the wrong way for you and send you in a worse position than you started off with. So keep that in mind.
I just want to say hi to CDC, Deepak.
Hey.
Good to see you guys. Dragon Ball.
Hey.
And we have Josh Atkinson.
Archer.
Good to see you, buddy. Archer, Brad,
Dave
21.
D.
Awesome, guys. Good to see you guys.
Yeah. Dave
Josh
D.
Garrison.
I think you're going to probably ask us about the book, just so you know, and for everyone else who's
I don't
interested.
even know this. Please.
You know it. I just told
is
you
it
about
coming
it
out?
No. Okay. I'm working on the glossary.
What the heck?
Basically, it's like the last stages of the book, like the glossary, and then that's pretty much it. So you guys are going to be the first to know before it's released.
And
But
Josh,
just so you know,
you're
the
getting the
glossary.
first one.
Yeah.
I have not forgotten.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to maybe the topics of this video.
Go for it.
So New York is investigating Gemini. Gemini is the centralized exchange that one of the few that went through the huge hoops, the difficult hoops of getting the BIT license in New York. One of the most stringent qualifications for a license in any U.S. state, New York, in the BIT license. Gemini has it. And yet, Gemini apparently was telling I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what's being accused of them, is that they were telling their Earn users that their Earn, whatever they deposited into their Earn account would be covered by FDIC, which is never true of any crypto, anything. FDIC only covers what you personally have in a bank, period. It does not cover any crypto exchange. There's even no guarantee if you're holding like USD on Gemini that is FDIC insured. There is no guarantees that traditional insurance scam, quite frankly, because if you just look at their assets versus what they're insured against,
125 billion
it is way unbalanced.
9 trillion.
So of course they're not going to be like, oh yeah, your crypto is insured, because we can barely cover what we're claiming to cover anyway, traditionally. So apparently Gemini was telling their users that their Earn deposits would be covered by FDIC, and the New York is saying that was pretty scammy for you to be saying that, if that's true. And the irony is, and it's been blatantly true ever since any failing of centralized exchange, especially with Celsius, Voyager, and FTX especially, is that these regulators are acting retroactively, because they have yet to provide, especially the SEC, for example, one of the most loud regulators of crypto. They are classic for acting retroactively rather than providing a clear guideline for crypto businesses to operate within the US and know what they can do to avoid getting prosecuted or investigated or have these accusations altogether. So they got the BIT license and now they're investigating them. And Dave D in the comments here earlier, he even said, can I sue New York for allowing Gemini to be approved for the BIT license, and yet they still didn't protect him if he had funds in earn or not, whatever. And that's the case right now, is that regulators are a sham, you guys. Quit outsourcing your critical thinking, quit outsourcing your judgments for your security, and quit thinking that there is any kind of a guarantee at all in life whatsoever, right? Because the more you trust someone else to take care of you, they don't care about you as much as you do. It should only be on your shoulders, and you should have some kind of an understanding of the amount that you can be exposed to, of risk that you can be exposed to, what you can afford. And the fact that you're depositing coins onto a third-party custodian is a risk in itself. Centralized exchanges usually will not tell you this, some much more than others. For example, Binance, they're like, CZ is like, you can't handle a hardware wallet, just keep it on my exchange. Oh my gosh, the guy is a joke. He's like a walking conflict of interest with everything he says versus what his business model is. That's my opinion. Anyway, it's been abundantly clear on the videos on this video.
Heidi.
I'm going to politely act like you didn't just say that.
Yeah, I don't mind the guy.
So anyway, that's what's happening with Gemini now. They're being investigated for making false claims of FDI insurance. For anyone who's new to crypto and you're new to understanding what FDI insurance is in their crypto, have zero expectations that whatever you put, whether it's a crypto or it's a USD deposit, a Euro deposit, what have you, have no expectations of FDI insurance. And anyone that's telling you that is probably trying to talk you into something that isn't true.
Yeah. Okay. So let me talk about the FDIC really quick.
Okay.
Insurance here.
Yeah.
So it's $9 trillion in liabilities, right?
Yeah.
With $125 billion in actual assets, or cash, or reserves, I should say. So, wow. Can you imagine trusting those people? Obviously, people do. So you can't say much about it. You know, it's a big scam. It's a big Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
The FDIC is a huge Ponzi scheme. Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
So FTX Australian subsidiary was under surveillance by Australian regulators for at least 8 months before it collapsed. Yeah, so they did nothing.
Regulators know nothing.
For you.
They know nothing about crypto.
Jeez.
Because they can just skate on their life, just doing the bare minimum for so long. What are the chances that it's actually a scam? They don't actually care.
Heidi,
they're not.
It's government.
I know.
They don't.
That's how they're skating on.
No, but if they were smart, they wouldn't be working for the FTX Australia or the Australian government.
That's why the smart people were warning about things like centralized exchanges, like crazy things that were happening with FTX and Alameda Research, which, by the way, the information leaked about Alameda Research balance sheet didn't come from any governmental regulation authority or anyone from outside of crypto. It actually came from CoinDesk, which is curious. But like you were just saying, all these regulators were looking at it. No one bothered to check, just like how in 2008, if you guys ever watched the movie The Big Short.
That's a great movie.
No one ever bothered to check if people were actually paying their mortgages or could afford the mortgages they were being assigned.
They still don't check. We do.
Just like they don't check the balance sheet of Alameda Research and the sister company of FTX and how that was mixed up.
That's why one of the reasons why we got out of BlockFi.
Early.
Had like 6 months before it collapsed.
After what happened with Celsius, we took the hint.
Yeah. We're like, oh man, this is all tied in, I think.
Don't be afraid to take the hint and be conservative in taking ownership of your crypto. Crypto is going to last much longer than a 6-month, 1-year bear market. What you will regret is trusting someone else during your crypto.
Yeah.
Period.
But I mean, it's hard. Like for instance, UST or whatever, it's sometimes it's really difficult to tell which ones are going to be insolvent. But you know, from what I've learned through all this, it's not a guarantee. When you hear people say, "Oh, it's a guarantee" or whatever, who said it was like it was almost risk free? Was it like Ran Neuner?
Anyone who says anyone who says risk free is lying to you.
$100 million in this in the Luna collapse.
Yeah.
But anyways,
they're in an echo chamber.
Sure. Okay. Next up, you have Bitcoin, there's a reason why I'm telling you this news. Bitcoin premiums hit in Nigeria, has hit 60% as the nation limits ATM cash withdrawals.
So people in Nigeria are paying 60% higher than the market price of Bitcoin.
Sure, but you may think, okay, who cares? Whatever, it's Nigeria. But think about it this way. There's going to be plenty of bank runs coming up because the fake liquidity out there, there's not a lot of liquidity out there, by the way. Okay, this is why you have overnight bank lending rate or repo rates going back and forth in the billions, like the highest it's ever been. That's faking liquidity from bank to bank, right? So this is what I'm seeing is that there's definitely there's going to be a lot of bank runs in the future, especially as more and more debt rises, and people are like, and a lot of banks are going to definitely go under if they're not getting bailed out. So you're going to see premiums like this go up, because people want something with a limited amount of supply, like Bitcoin. Yeah, provably. You can't prove that gold is how much gold is out there. I don't know.
You don't know. Nobody exactly knows. At any point.
How much gold is in Fort Knox? How much gold is under the New York Fed? Who knows? Same with silver or whatever. Yeah. So with Bitcoin,
it's easily auditable by anyone.
Exactly. 20 years from now to the date, you can tell how much Bitcoin's going to be available.
You don't have to trust a third party who says, oh, yeah, trust me, we've audited it. It's fine.
Exactly. So, I mean, Bitcoin is so cheap. So cheap right here. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I could just keep going on that. But okay, next up, speaking about cheap, Bitcoin mining difficulty has hit a new all-time high at 4.7%. That is very impressive.
It's going to keep hitting all-time highs.
Guys.
Because the more that the network grows, the higher the hash rate is going to grow, period. Yeah.
It's kind of nice, huh? That means it's secure.
The security of the network is increasingly getting more and more secure.
Exactly. That is phenomenal.
Bullish.
That's why if you're a part of our CT club and you're wondering, why is Bitcoin the largest portion of your portfolio? That is why. Because I can sleep at night going, I don't care what Bitcoin does in the short term. I couldn't care less if it drops. I couldn't care less if it drops to 10,000 tomorrow. I literally couldn't care less. A lot of people would freak out. I couldn't care less because I understand scarcity. Mm-hmm. I do. And I understand it is the most secure network in the history of the world. And it's only getting more and more secure, as you see. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Anyways, we have 196 members of Congress that took money from FTX. These are the scumbags that work for the U.S. government. It's all fake. They're all scam artists.
Are they returning the funds?
Congress. There's a reason why it says CON. Yeah. It's really sad, guys. And the fact that you guys are paying tax money to these criminals, yes, taxes go to criminals a lot, but man, these guys are the biggest, most blatant criminals.
And it's on both sides. It's Democrats and Republicans. Because SBF wanted to hedge against both opportunities.
Same crap, different piles. The Democrats, Republicans.
Yeah. All the same puppet.
Yeah. Nick, go for it.
What?
You got it. You won't believe this one.
So if you guys caught the video when Toby and I were in the frame in Dubai, that was a funny video, by the way.
What? Should I tell people what happened?
No, don't tell people what happened. Sure. It's okay to have secrets.
Okay. Maybe I'll think about it someday to tell you guys.
Something happened to Toby in Dubai.
It was so bad.
It was mostly traumatic.
So bad.
Anyway, after that event happened, we went to the frame and Toby recorded a video. And in that video, he said how the prosecutors of SBF were saying that were accusing him basically of trying to influence the witnesses through encrypted messages. That, my friend, is called like witness intimidation, or it's definitely another offense that if it's brought to the judge's attention, he could definitely see more charges laid on him in the future. It's not a good look. So because of that, apparently now SGNY is seeking to restrict his internet and social media contract with former colleagues per Reuters.
Heidi.
Sorry, guys. Judge to rule on restrictions early this week based on witness tampering evidence presented late Friday. That's what it's called. Witness tampering evidence. My true crime knowledge should have known that phrase, not witness intimidation. But I
don't know much about this stuff.
Do you think he was bribing them, or you think what was he trying to influence them with? More money? Maybe that's. Oh, you guys. Maybe that's
obviously.
Ready for some speculation? At the same time this news is coming out that he was trying to influence witnesses, he was also trying to gain his access to the FTX funds. So maybe he was trying to bribe witnesses with the funds that he thought he could get from the FTX assets.
That's a really good...
We're making connections here.
There we go. Heidi is a true crime person. I'm not.
Spoken with complete confidence by Toby, by the way.
Sure. Okay. All right, next up. New York regulator investigating crypto exchange Gemini.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We led with that one.
Sorry, guys. What would you like to talk about now? I'm done.
I don't know. Let's get. If you guys have any comments or questions in the comments, let me know by doing all caps. Question: if you guys haven't liked this live stream already, we really appreciate it. If you do, we have 315 or 311 people watching right now. 97 likes. Let's get that like button up. If you guys like these Monday live streams, let us know. We're here every Monday, noon Eastern time. We have a question from Dave D. How long does it take for difficulty to change? I believe it's every 2 weeks. What if a new supercomputer came out that could solve blocks in 10 seconds? They'd get an awful lot of Bitcoin before it adjusted. True. And you aren't the first person to have this worry, Dave D. It's a great worry to have. Bitcoin developers and miners are probably well aware of this threat. And we've spoken to some people about this. And basically, it's the SHA-256 encryption that Bitcoin uses. What they would have to do if, let's say, a supercomputer, what is it?
The quantum computing.
Quantum computing. If that comes out.
It will.
It will. They just need to shift their encryption. And you guys, there are some Bitcoin people that have access to quantum computers because we have some really smart, very intuitive, very excited and
wealthy people
who are well invested in Bitcoin and its survival. And so it's also in their best interest to know what all of these worst case scenarios could be and how to protect against it. So I'm sure that they could use quantum computing also to bolster encryption against other quantum computers. But
I think that the hardest part about building a quantum or keeping a quantum computer running is keeping the temperature low enough for the chip, which is, I think, ridiculous. And it has to be constant precise as well. Yeah. So that's like the hardest part. And that's why a lot of like universities will have it and nowhere else because they don't have the facilities to go ahead and do it. But now that a lot of crypto developers are rich, these are some of the smartest people in the world. And they're definitely going to be creating stuff like this. But we talked
and you don't know their names. We don't know their names.
Yeah.
But they're out there.
We might.
They're out there.
Yeah. But we, what was that? The Bitcoin core developer that we met in Indonesia? Uh-huh. So he told us that, eventually they'll be mining.
Yeah. Lost Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
Like, imagine basically if a quantum computer can break the encryption of Bitcoin, it means that they can break the encryption of private keys. It means all those wallets that have been stagnant and if you're holding Bitcoin currently at this time, if this were to happen, you'd have to basically just update your software, update your wallet, whatever, to the new encryption model. And then anything that doesn't would be essentially those that are lost, forgotten, whatever. And they can be like kind of mined by the supercomputer that could break that encryption, which is kind of crazy. Unlock that true 21 million Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean necessarily that they could overrun the network because remember, there's Bitcoin miners and then there's Bitcoin nodes, all of which need to signal to make the hard fork for the new encryption model. And I know I just posted a video. I recorded that video about Bitcoin being created by the CIA as a Bitcoin myth. I recorded that a while ago, but it just came out today. If that were true, if Bitcoin was created by the CIA, the NSA, whatever three-letter acronym you want to think of, why would they create it so that any change that would be created on the network would need to have 51%, agreement of nodes and miners? Why would they make that requirement without any wiggle room of complete control? I don't understand. I don't know. Why would they make it open source? There's so many questions that I've highlighted on that video as well.
Is, why did Hal Finney decide to not talk to who was it?
No, Satoshi cut off all communication with Gavin Wood? Gavin Wood, yeah.
That's one of the weirdest things that happened.
Yeah, basically, this is going to be in the book, guys. Some history of Bitcoin that's very interesting. Gavin Wood was really excited because I don't know if he was invited or if he wanted to go to basically the CIA doing a conference basically on like emerging technologies, and he wanted to present Bitcoin to the CIA. And the second that Gavin Wood told Satoshi that, he didn't even reply. He just ghosted Gavin Wood. But before that, he already was telling people, like, you guys are on it, you're taking care of it. Like, I don't have to. You're good. I'm on to other things. I'm gonna start working on other things. And so that was, and then after Satoshi was already backing off and like confident in other people, managing the code and the development of the cryptocurrency. And then Gavin Wood told him about the CIA, and Satoshi's like, nope. He's out of it.
But Heidi does get into that way deeper in the book, so it's really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Topi's read it.
Yeah, a little bit.
He has not read it, guys.
I have.
Okay, wait. We have a super chat from CDC. Thank you so much. I know you're in Dubai. CDC.
Oh, we need to catch up.
I know we were like in Dubai just for a couple days, but in like a month and a half, we're going to be there for a decent amount of time. So we'd love to meet up with you then. So we'll be in touch. Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, what do you all do during your travel to new countries besides leisure? Any aspects of crypto you explore in new countries? I mean,
I really love, like, for me,
I'm really into protecting my privacy with crypto personally.
Oh, okay. So
what
any aspects of crypto you explore?
Like, we'll talk to people about it. Some people.
I'm not like, when I'm driving around or whatever, if somebody like, if I see somebody in need or whatever, and I see that they're struggling with like whether their job or something like that, and they have a hard time opening up a bank account.
Oh yeah.
I will totally sit down with them. Hey, listen.
Create a paper wallet.
I'll create a paper wallet. Perfect. Here you go. Now we have a wallet that you can remember or hide or something like that. And
have access to.
Exactly. Because we go to a lot of third world countries where a lot of people don't have, like, what is it? 80% of the world is unbanked, essentially. So that's one of my passions. I love doing that. That is so much fun. But as far as like begging people to accept crypto or whatever, no. Like, no. Like if they accept it, then sweet. If not, then whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And also, like, in struggling countries, like we were just in Egypt, for example. We've been to, in the years past, places like Zambia, Tanzania, South Africa, and the awareness of the abuse of their government and their currency is very, very apparent. And so once you tell them that there's a form of money that exists that isn't controlled by a government, they're like, sign me up. So it's not that hard to convince people about crypto in those where, corruption is much more apparent than maybe in Western countries where people still have a hope of whatever politician they can vote for. So it's not so much like a campaign for crypto. It's more of an obvious choice for them than anywhere else.
But like one of the things, we were filming in front of the Giza pyramids and we were stopped by the police.
Yeah.
We can say this now because we're back home. But, they're
it is
like,
true.
no,
You have
no
to have
filming.
you have to have a permit from the government to film. I don't know if it's all of Egypt or at least in front of the pyramids.
But
like they're very strict about people, the risk of people spreading negative propaganda about Egypt.
Because I just talked about hyperinflation the day before,
Yeah.
and that was happening in Egypt. I
But
think.
they don't know anything about crypto. But they did. So sorry.
No, go.
What were you gonna say?
No. I was just saying, the Egyptian pound when I first went there was
In
8, I think
2011?
it was 6 to 8 Egyptian pounds to $1. It recently dropped like another 30% to almost 30 to the dollar, and so these people are really struggling, and it's a very apparent of like how hard life is over there. It's really gnarly.
Yeah, we talked to one guy. He was saying, first it was the Arab Spring in 2011, and then it was the global lockdowns through 2-3 years ago, and now it's their currency is just plummeting. So it's really a shame that their government is, tied to a certain religion that has deemed cryptocurrencies as a whole to be haram, which is not halal, which is basically kind of illegal or against what they believe in. And so I don't think it's like illegal. I think it's enforced by the banks about the crypto. So like basically if you get caught, like your account's over with, and for many people that's their only lifeline.
But it's not the religious scriptures talking. It's literally the banks that just make up crap. That's it. So it's kind of crazy. Because usury. Banks they charge interest. Like, okay, well, what does that have to do? Like
no, but it's their bank.
Okay, yeah, sure. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why if you go back to my last video on the pyramid, you can kind of see our wire there, because I was trying to hide Heidi was trying to hide the camera a little bit to make it not obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty wild. There was a couple more. Let's see. Yeah, right here. Heidi and lucky guy Toby noon. Does the Crypto CT Club instruct how to buy and sell crypto for people like me?
Here's the thing. On the CT Club, we have a lot of classes. I have decentralized exchanges, which will be updated. I know that needs to be updated. And also centralized exchanges that kind of recommend. I do that with a huge grain of salt, because it's really hard to recommend any centralized exchange. Personally, if I were to recommend any centralized exchange at this point, it would be Kraken. That is not an endorsement. It's not a paid promotion whatsoever, what have you. It's just an exchange that I've used personally for a while when I have to, and I'm most comfortable recommending it.
Coinbase?
Not Coinbase. It is US. Kraken is based in the US too, so like it's probably
it's horrible.
It's on the short list of recommendations for me. Could change at any point, but there's so many tutorials that are free to watch on YouTube. So if your main hiccup is like which one can you trust, so far Kraken. But here's the thing. Don't use a centralized exchange as your wallet provider. Use it to get exposure to the crypto and then get your coins off into a wallet that you control. Easy. And so, once you find an exchange that you find to be reputable, there's so many tutorials on YouTube that are free. And also exchanges are getting easier and easier every day that really walk you through the process of making trades on their exchange. If it's a good exchange, they'll have even a section like on the little tabs that you can click on for information. They should have like an educational tab for you to understand how to do things too.
Sergio, you did not miss the live stream, but okay, so YouTube changed some things around where it was hard to title it.
Weird.
And put it out. So that's why it was
hard for me to schedule it. Usually it pops up right away. It tells me.
We know now. Okay. Next up, CDC. Wouldn't miners using quantum computers also not take encryption to another level? Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's exactly the point.
Yes. It's definitely going to be, we're golden. Like Satoshi, friggin' Hal Finney, he did a great job.
Yeah.
He did a great job with Bitcoin. It's not going anywhere, and it's going to keep getting more and more secure. Which is kind of nice.
Believe in the Lord Jesus Christ asks, what is the book called?
Oh, boy.
It's called.
Should
I
we
say it
right now?
I'm not
because
gonna
if
say
somebody
it.
else takes it,
I'm not gonna say it.
we can't say
the
that right
CT
now.
Club members voted on the cover, and it's a pretty freaking good cover, I think.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
Doesn't
gonna
say it on
say.
the cover though.
It did say it on the
Oh.
cover.
Well then,
Should we say it?
Sure, go for it.
Why crypto? Why it exists and why you need it.
Yes.
And then the next book is gonna be about the hows, how you can do all this stuff. So
Yes.
instead of writing a book the size of the Bible, which I'm intending to do, I'm going to divide it up. So first the why
That's
and
a
then the
big
how.
one.
I think that's important.
It's a very big one.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
How are the waves, Toby?
the waves are absolutely flat. That's why we've been traveling. I can't be around an
Maybe
ocean
I'll go
that is
surfing.
so tiny. But
Perfect.
yeah, that's kind of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Aw.
Guys,
Guys.
thank you so much for
If the waves are flat
Enjoying
enough, maybe we'll go live again later on this week.
Josh, is there going to be a sequel? Absolutely.
Yes.
There's going to be constant books.
Yes. It's a new pivot.
Yeah. But hey, guys, listen. One thing about what's happening with CBDCs, you just have to be really careful now. Like they're really ramping everything up for CBDCs. And guess what we are going to talk about tomorrow at 7 a.m. this time?
Oh, yeah. Guys, I forgot to ask you. We're going to be interviewing James Corbett tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
I am very excited. I already have like a general, like I know what I want to talk to him about, but for those of you who are interested, let me know what you want me to ask him in the comments right now in the live stream. Let me know, and maybe I'll ask him to James.
Awesome.
So let
Very
me know what
excited.
You want me to
If
ask
you don't know
James.
who James Corbett is,
Listen to his podcast.
man,
So good. The Corbett Report.
one of the reasons why I am in crypto, one of the reasons is I found his channel. He is one of the guys that, it was over a decade ago that kind of taught me about how the world works and about banks and stuff and where the world is going. And he is
So in depth
he
with
is
his
spot
research.
on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking a lot about CBDCs
Excited.
tomorrow. Yeah, that's going to be very fun. That guys. Anyways,
Hit the
and
like button
subscribe,
for these live streams. We appreciate it.
and we really enjoy this.
Yeah.
We really enjoy you guys. Anyways, bye guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
I feel like I should say that every time at the end.
You should.
I should. I did.
You did.
I feel good about it.
Good.